Donald Brown is a sculptor from the city of Wolverhampton. He's been working on a piece that's all about positivity since 2011. It's currently as part of the marketing stages at the moment to get this out to people to look at and enjoy. And he joins me now for a bit of a chat. Hello.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
No, good to have you along. You're from Wolverhampton, but you've been working all over the world, the US, London, and many places in between. And it must be great to sort of start to see this project go from something you imagined a while back and now into something which people are enjoying, looking at and sharing is the important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I was born and raised in Wolverhampton, graduated from Wolverhampton University, left from Wolverhampton to Manchester, from Manchester to America, and then from America pretty much all over the world. And yes, for me the objective was to be an artist that could create artwork that would inspire and empower people by addressing real life issues.
So give us the title of this current piece that you're working with.
It's entitled A Sporting Chance for Peace.
Because, I mean, sport is another area that you work in. Is it athletics that you do
Yes.
mostly?
I've actually combined my two passions of art and sport. And yes, I do. I actually compete for Great Britain as a masters athlete and recently returned from Australia after winning the silver medal in the hurdles. So,
Well, congratulations for that.
thank you. And hopefully getting ready to go to Korea, South Korea next month for the World Indoor Championships.
So all this alongside the work you're doing with sculpting, I can see why this project is so long and drawn out. But that's part of the creativity behind it, isn't it? And getting exactly what you want. And this is not a small piece that we're talking about here for the main sculpture.
Not at all. It's actually 6 foot by 4 foot. And for me, sport is so important because through sport, you learn about life. In order to be a good sports person, to be successful, you've got to be disciplined. You have to have patience. You've got to be humble. You've got to be honest. You've got to be a good team player. You've got to have good leadership skills. And a lot of athletes actually develop those skills. And a lot of young people develop those skills. But unfortunately, quite often when they encounter conflict on the streets, they don't use the skills they've already developed through sports. So I'm using the artwork, the sculpture, to address those issues, positive principles, and a plethora of other real life positive principles and issues that they can learn from and empower them.
And all of this in what is an amazing piece of artwork. I've only seen online pictures yet. I would love to see one of the actual, either the real thing or one of the smaller versions that people are able to buy and also donate to their chosen choice of location, really, because it's great for kids to see this. It's brilliant as part of a community hub, and it really is just giving a message across of togetherness and oneness, isn't it?
Yeah, what I've found is that it's been very a pleasant experience for me because a lot of parents who share the sculpture with their students or their children, should I say, and teachers, of course, are able to get the message across to them that many parents have been trying to get through for ages. But art has a unique way of transcending certain barriers. As a parent or as parents, we can often talk to our children. It's in one ear and out the other. But when you see the message captured, if you will, in 3D, in a work that's taken me, as I said, 4 years to create and is very detailed. Visually, it captures them, it draws them to it. And what's interesting, when I was creating it at Star City in Birmingham, we had 2, 3, 4-year-olds coming up and looking at the sculpture. And it was hilarious that the 2, 3-year-olds, that's a football, I know what that. They actually could look at it and interpret it. At their age, and then the older ones could see there was more of a meaning behind it, and in fact, as they grew older, the older viewers could appreciate the deeper meaning behind it. And so, for me, it's trying to reach the demographics, all ages, all races, and nationalities, and trying to get the message across. Because through the sculpture, I think art is for everyone. Yeah. And I think it's important to have a positive message that everyone can relate to. And what better way to address real life issues, discipline, self-esteem, anger management, obesity, all of these issues that people cope with on a daily basis, incorporate it in art and try and provide issues and sort of resolutions and answers that they can hopefully internalise and personalise.
Yeah, it's a message without it feeling preachy, because it's something they're looking at and understanding, as I say. And as you say, creating that in a public space as well. What sort of materials do you work with? Because I know that you can actually get a resin and bronze powder copy, which is the smaller size artworks that people can actually buy, or we'll talk about how they may be able to get hold of one through other means as well. But what is your material of choice for this and for the rest of your work?
I started off in wood, clay, wax, plaster, not done metal. and I'm not on ice.
But those all require different skills, though. That's the
Yes.
thing. I mean, wood is so different to
Absolutely.
working in something like plaster.
Yeah, and stone is,
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
and expensive as well.
Yeah,
You
and
don't-
it built my forearms, just chiseling away. But my favorite is clay, because with clay you can chop and change. With stone, like the Villas Domino, if you chip away and the arm falls off, that's it, that's done.
Yeah, job done. Yeah.
But with clay, you can experiment, you can try different things. And so this particular sculpture, I created in clay. I used a special kind of clay because, as I said, it took 4 years, and normal clay dries out after a few hours.
Yeah.
Whereas this particular piece of clay, or this type of clay I used, I could go away for a week, 2 weeks, come back, and it's fine. Didn't cover it, didn't water it, and it was great. So I created it in clay, and I'll be casting it into pure bronze. That's for the limited edition.
Yeah.
Now, the actual sculpture has already been scanned in 3D at Pinewood Studios, and we'll be producing a smaller version of the sculpture. That is the one that will be in resin and bronze powder. It will look just like bronze, but it will be a lot more affordable to members of the general public worldwide.
And as you say, there is a way of getting hold of this as well, because you're selling prints of the sculpture too, and that's a way of people having the artwork, providing funding towards the cost of the artwork in
Right.
itself, because it's not a cheap game being an artist, and
Absolutely.
selling the pieces is all important. So that's again an important feature for you, and it helps get that message out there as well, because if somebody sees one of these pictures and prints on a school wall or in whether it be a local library or community centre, it does start to link back to the original, and then when you do have this on display, which I'm sure will come in time, people will then want to go and visit it and learn more about you, your art, and to see other pieces in an exhibition that you'll be part of.
Well, absolutely. I'm glad you touched on that. You've obviously done your homework. Let me also preface everything by simply saying this. The sculpture, the replicas of the sculpture, will be presented to every country of the United Nations, all 207 countries. And then on the 21st of September, and we're looking at 2018, possibly 2017, but we're looking at 2018 because it's getting bigger and bigger. All of those countries will be invited to unveil their sculpture at the exact same time to complete the largest simultaneous art unveiling ceremony in history.
That's going to be impressive in itself.
It's phenomenal. The response has been fantastic. I literally already have Hollywood celebrities on board. They want to be a part of it, promoting it, doing commercials and so forth. So that's one of the reasons we're looking at probably doing it in 2018, because now as it gets bigger and bigger, we're realizing that more and more people want to get involved. And that's why now members of the public can also become a part of it, as you said, by purchasing the prints. And the way we're doing it, again, because of the economic climate we're living in, as much as people might want to buy the sculptures, finance and funds can be tight. And so what I've created is a way that individuals who purchase a print can be positioned to receive one of the smaller sculptures.
And this is part of, in effect, almost a lottery, but a waiting list of people who have purchased. The prints start at, I think it's around $50, £35,
Yeah.
and you can get yourself onto a list to receive one of the resin and the bronze powder. It's like replicas is a wonderful way of doing it. And it's so nice to think that people can have this in their own home, their church, their community centre,
Absolutely.
wherever.
Well, I want to get the message out to as many people in print form and sculpture form. And just to give you an overview of the marketing campaign, our goal is to sell 1 million of these prints worldwide. But it's only the first 50,000 print buyers that are assured to receive a sculpture. Because once we reach the 1 million, then the first 50,000 print buyers will have received their sculpture.
So it's an amazing way of doing it, a great way of sharing the art. I know that you obviously clearly are enjoying producing the artwork and the positivity of the message that it'll bring. And if people do want to find out more, what's your website so they
The
can come along?
website is theglobalgallery.com, and I stress the, because there's another site called Global Gallery. That's not me.
That's not you.
It's theglobalgallery.com.
And people just go along, they can register. I say there's 3 different size prints that are available. They can choose to go for the smallest in price and the smallest in size. But again, it's about print quality as well, because it's not a printed photograph quite like that,
No,
is
not
it?
at all. I had to hire a professional. This professional photographer took nearly a whole day And the way he did it, he photographed it in sections. I'm not a photographer to that degree, but he did a brilliant job, and the quality is excellent. And of course, people who buy the prints can of course join in the unveiling ceremony as well. And
They can put curtains up in their own house and do
that's
the
idea.
unveiling.
But here's the thing now, you see, even though the sculpture's already been seen, because people often say, well, why would you unveil a sculpture that's already been seen? That's not the point, that's not the issue, it's symbolic.
Yeah.
The concept behind it is to unveil the veil. Because a lot of us, we live behind a veil. And when you listen to the symbolism, the meaning of the sculpture, I talk about many of the veils that we hide behind. And so the concept of having this global unveiling ceremony is to symbolize the removal of this veil that many of us can live behind. So the undertone is unveiling the veil. And that is the key. So that once we remove that veil, then we can address these real-life issues of anger management, obesity, discipline, respect, and all of these issues that affect us in different ways. But if we have this veil in front of us and we don't remove it, then we can effectively live a lie. And so the ceremony is it's about promoting peace as well. And when I say peace, I'm talking about internal peace. Because in order to have social peace, we first have to have peace within ourselves. So there's a number of topics and issues that the sculpture is about, but the unveiling ceremony itself is really a symbolic gesture for everyone that can and cares to remove that veil from their lives, to identify what those veils are first, and then to remove it, and then to hopefully the sculpture promote that message of inspiration and empowerment to all people.
Well, there is a true power in art. I think you've captured it, and by the sound of things, it is going to bring so much positivity across the globe. It
Thank
could
you.
turn things around, fingers crossed.
Fabulous.
Give us all the details again on your social media and also the website.
Sure, the website is theglobalgallery.com. That's the main source right now. We're developing the social side right now, but the best way to get in contact and the best place to go to see the video, because there's a video on the website that explains how people can actually purchase and be positioned in line to receive the actual sculpture. So theglobalgallery.com is the best place to go. My contact details are there. Anyone can reach me, contact me, send any questions, and if they need to come and speak to them into their groups, to their audiences, if I'm available, I'll be more than happy to.
Well, it sounds like a fantastic project, and one that's very, very worthy of all the praise that you will receive for this. But if you do want to find out more, theglobalgallery.com is the website, and look out for Dalton when he's doing his bit for the athletics for Team GB. It'd be great to see you in action very soon.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Cheers.
Take care. Thank you.